Megan Hicks of I Run Far, and I'm with Sage Canaday the day after the 2016 Transvulcania Ultramarathon. 3 for 3 for 3. How are you doing, dude?
I'm good. I didn't hurt myself, so that's always a plus.
Do you mean you didn't like crash on the big long downhill?
Yeah, no stitches, not too much blood. There was one fall in the first half mile of the course. I fell, but
oh, you did?
Yeah, going up the hill.
Did you just
it was
trip
minor.
on a little rock?
Yeah, yeah, I just tripped up, but it didn't matter. I didn't get trampled, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a threat for being stampeded at that point in the race.
Yeah, you got thousands of runners behind you going up that narrow path from the beach. It's spectacular when you see all the headlamps going up the hill.
I want to ask you about how you're feeling today. Like, you went into this race with expectations for yourself. I think you ran faster than you have in the past. Is that true?
Well, the course is a little different, so it's hard to compare. Yeah.
But you finished third again.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I mean, it could have been better.
Okay.
It could have been worse. So it's kind of, I mean, it's an honor to be on the podium again here. And then, yeah, the other goal was kind of the time goal, like just comparing myself to previous efforts on the course. But it was hard to compare because they made us do a little dip in the middle of the climb off the 131 trail.
You dipped down to
We dipped down to an aid station and then had to climb up this, I think it was some trail that was made into the side of the hill, which is really steep, so it added vertical to the course.
Okay.
I'd say, looking at Strava data, maybe 600 or 700 feet more vertical.
Oh, really?
And another kilometer in distance.
An extra K.
But it was more mild weather. It wasn't as hot. So yeah, I ran 7:14, 7:15. In the past, I was 7:09, 7:10. So it's hard to compare. I was climbing better though, so I looked at Strava segments on the climb, and I beat some of my personal bests on the climb, so I was climbing better, so that was a positive. And I was actually in the lead at the top of the volcano, which was a first, because usually Luis and Killian pass me before I even get to the top, but this time I made it to the top, then Luis and Nick, then as soon as we hit the downhill, then they Nicholas and Luis passed me.
But I made it to the aid station at the top first.
And my descent was slower than in previous years.
Okay,
unfortunately.
So I'm going to ask you the hard question that everybody wants to know right now.
Yeah.
So, first time you come out, you climb hard, you lead, you get past for the downhill. Second time, basically the same thing.
Yep.
Third time, basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So, is this just going to be your strategy for good, or did you just get caught up in climbing because you just feel so much better in climbing? Have you thought about taking it a little bit more conservative early? Yeah,
so I thought about that. Some people
would say about it, but didn't do it.
Yeah, some people say it's the definition of stupidity to keep repeating something that fails for you over and over and over. But no, I see myself, I guess, as a climber, and that being my strength. And I feel like I would have no shot at being first or second, for that matter, if I was behind at the top. I'm definitely not going to be first or second.
Okay.
So I need to either be tied for the lead at the top or in the lead with a cushion, ideally, to even have a shot. But I just, I did that this year, but yeah, I didn't have the downhill legs for it. So it's hard to say. Like, I'm time trialing, trying to run faster, and I think that's my best strategy.
Right.
I also know that when I take the lead, or if, last year Zach Miller took the lead early on in the climb, it spreads the field out open, and I kind of like that idea of just making it, just making it, everyone's gonna be really hurting at the top, and then you do have a big cushion back to fourth place usually. So, but I was looking over my shoulder, running scared the whole time. Yeah.
In all fairness to you, though, like, we saw you a couple times interspersed within the climbing, and I mean, you looked wicked comfortable. Like, it doesn't look like you're putting yourself in the hurt box to get to the top of things first.
Yeah, I tried to I was just going by feel, so I was feeling better coming into LPLR, and I split exactly the same time that I split into LPLR. But then I was like, well, it's cooler temperatures, so you should be the same with an easier effort. And then after LPLR is where I really ran better than I had in previous years on the
Okay.
climb. And yeah, I was just going by feel, and it felt like the right effort, so I just went with it. But yeah, with the course change, that kind of threw me for a loop because that was steep power hiking, and I don't like power hiking.
You like the runnable.
Yeah,
climbing.
yeah.
And we were just talking at breakfast a few minutes ago, and I learned from you that you don't actually mind the technical downhills. You've kind of gained a reputation for perhaps being challenged most when the downhills are technical, but you said you suffered more yesterday, not on the technical descent, but on the more runnable but steep stuff.
Yeah, well, any smooth downhill.
Okay.
I hate downhills on roads, like I always have. Yeah, road running downhill is bad for me. Smooth trails, which probably bodes poorly for Western states, but I need, it's a strength you could work on. I think I got to work on the leg turnover and getting the musculature ready for that, being able to fly on smooth downhills. But yeah, I was really struggling on the road part where you're running downhill, and then the smoother parts of the descent in the pine forest where you can open up. That's when I was like, I'm going really slow. Then I got down lower and it was more rocky and technical, and I was like, oh, I could hold my own on this.
Yeah.
A lot of the boulder trails I train on are fairly rocky and technical, so I think I ran that well. And then I got excited going in the last 700-foot drop into Tezacorte on the switchbacks. I actually ran my personal best Strava segment on that switchback
I love
descent.
That you already looked closely
yeah,
at this.
yeah. Like I was excited to get down those, and I got down the switchbacks fast. So that part was faster, but I need to work on my leg muscles because the quads are blown out, and that was really the limiting factor.
Overall assessment on the day, given the conditions here, given the fact that you haven't been focusing exclusively on this type of running, are you happy with how things played out?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. There's a little bit of disappointment too, just because I didn't improve my place at all, I guess. That's part of it, yes. I mean, I was closer, I guess, to Luis than I had been in years past in terms of time. But it's hard to compare. He ran an amazing, strong, dominating performance race, and then Nicholas, who got second, I think that was a great performance. Great race by him too. So yeah, I mean, to be on the podium's always good here.
Yeah.
It's consistent at least.
You took your time coming down the long finish chute.
Yeah, I probably could have been a couple minutes faster. Didn't want to high five everyone, but I like to.
You spent a little bit of that extra time there.
Yeah. It's fun too. You got to do it.
Yeah,
you got to do it.
It looked like you were having a really good time.
Yeah, I looked over my shoulder and I didn't see anyone down that whole half-mile stretch, and then
Zach Miller chasing you
yeah,
down.
no, I thought about that, Zach and Dakota last year, and so I was like, no one's gonna kick past me. Enjoy it. It's an amazing experience. The last half mile, there's just so many fans. The whole town's out, all the locals and running fans, and yeah, it's fun. And then you get the bottle of champagne too.
Always good to have a giant bottle of champagne.
It is, yeah.
After a 80 or a 75K run, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you're a student of the sport.
I try to be.
You've got a little bit of trail ultra running back under your belt after sort of your bid for marathoning. Mm-hmm. You're turning your sights to Western states now. What's going to happen with your training?
Recovery first from this, and then got to work on the downhill.
Okay.
Runnable downhill, and probably extend the long runs a bit to try to make the distance of 100 miles, because I've never made it that far. Yeah. So it scares me. I'll admit, I'm scared, and yeah, it'll be a big challenge. A little heat training probably be good for Western.
So does that mean you're gonna seek out courses around home in Boulder that have long runnable downhills and practice on that, or what are you actually going to do? Yeah, especially after the feedback I got from this race of how much my quads really didn't like runnable downhill. Okay.
And that's my main weakness, because like nutrition was dialed, no stomach issues, energy was pretty consistent. I don't get maxed out cardiovascular wise either. Well, sometimes a little on the climb, but that's not the limiting factor. It's the quad strength.
Okay.
So I have to work on that and just improving turnover and efficiency. So yeah, I'll go to some of the gradual paths in Boulder, running down the canyon or running down Magnolia Road, something like that, and just try to pound up the quads and get the legs moving faster, and still work on vertical, but then extend the long runs and wear extra layers to be sweating in the heat. So it is kind of cold in Boulder. It's been snowing a lot. Training in the snow is not good for these races.
Training for the canyons of Western.
Yeah.
And then beyond Western States, you're going to run CCC later this summer.
Yeah.
What else is on your plate? Is it just trying to transition to more mountain running after?
Yeah, more mountain running. I'll probably be back for North Face 50 mile in San Francisco in December for sure. I'm not sure what else I could fit in there. That might be it, but I might add something in the fall.
So you're skipping Speed Goat?
I think I have to. It's a week after Western States.
I know, but you're Sage Canaday.
No, I don't. You know, in the past I've over-raced. Like, I've done 7 or 8 ultras a year in 2014, 2013. So dialing it back, trying to focus more on being consistent and getting my mountain legs back, hopefully. I think just Western to CCC will probably be hard enough for me, though.
Well, you've got sore quads today, but you're going to Barcelona for a couple days vacation.
Yeah.
So have fun working off that quad pain, and have fun working off that 3rd place.
I will, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Sage.
much again. Yeah.